Welcome back to the Hat House, guys, and today we got to talk about the V word, the Vero, because I had an item taken down from Mercari because of an intellectual property right request from this company to Mercari. It could have easily happened on eBay as well, so you want to catch that inside this episode and let me know what you guys think, how it all unfolded. And also, do you have any Veros out there that you want to let us know about that you've had in your store? We need to look out for each other. And I know that it sucks to get these things, but we really need to communicate well as a community of hat sellers so we can watch each other's backs. But also in this episode, always great hat sales. And there's a company called Ebbets Field Flannel. How familiar are you with it? Because you need to get familiar with that company. If you're out there looking at hats, you need to be picking those hats up. They make a really great product. They're made in USA. They sometimes have really obscure logos on them, and you can't even find what team they're from. But it's definitely something you want to pick up, and you want to know that tag, and you want to know that brand. And then, how is free shipping going? I'm trying, guys. I'm going to be positive, I promise. But for now, let's get to the garage and see what's sold. All right, so this will be the first full day of free shipping. There might be one or two kind of scattered in here that have some shipping charges on them. But the first sale was awesome. About $75 for these two hats. This was Arizona Diamondbacks fitted, New Era, 7 3/4. Really nice hat right here. Black. And then I didn't figure it out until after I sold it, actually. That's why I always price up the Ebbets Field, because somebody will know exactly what they're looking at, even if you don't. And this one went out for like $48. It's the Tucson Toros. Minor league team. It was size 7.5. Really nice. Always pick up the Ebbets Field. Flannels, they do really well. They always have kind of obscure teams, old teams, and sometimes their logos are hard to find, but still, even if you can't find it, it's worth listing. Somebody will know what they're looking at. I don't get into the designer hat game very often, but I run across a Michael Kors bucket hat. I know that pretty desirable, nice little bucket hat right here. Went out for $40. Really great condition. Had the all over Michael Kors print on it. So I knew somebody would really like this one. $40, a great sales price on a bucket hat. All right, another good sale right here. This was $30. This was a New York Yankees World Series 1998 with San Diego Padres. And $30 just sounds better too than $24 plus shipping. So it was a $30 sale. But anyway, still really good. Really clean. Just had some kind of creasing on it. I'm sure the buyer can get that out. Next up was Alaska Railroad, and on the railroad hats, I would say pick up the ones that have the nice patches. Sometimes the plain ones just don't do very well, but this was a really good one, really good condition, super clean. Anytime they have the railroad patches or embroidery on the front, they seem to do a little bit better. This was a really good hat right here, $20. Then we had a Tampa Bay 47 Flex Fit, went out for $16, just a regular Flex Fit. Next up was this Coca-Cola, written in Japanese on here. Went for $27.50. Was in really clean condition. Had the tags on it. Basically new. Really good sale for a Coca-Cola hat. Most of the time you're $10 to $15, but this one went for a little more. And next up we had Anaheim Angels. Went out for $18. It was size 7, pretty small. Cooperstown, so kind of the retro logo on it. $18. Then we had a New Era Snapback San Jose Sharks. Went out for $19 on this one. Pretty clean hat. San Jose and Sharks, NHL stuff always does really well. Then we had our Sitka gear. They make a lot of bows and hunting stuff. Went out for $18. This kind of digital camo, really cool print. Then we had an Element skateboard. This was kind of a Army / cadet hat. It was strap back, adjustable. Went out for $18 as well. Even had some kind of spots on the brim, but was pretty clean on the inside. Next up was a Quicksilver hat. Went out for $17. Not Quicksilver. Definitely Billabong. Same difference. The Flex Fit hat went out for $17. Why are you the way you are? What does Michael Scott say? What?
I don't know.
Why are you? Women's Boston Red Sox pink, which went out for $14. And then next up, this went out for $22.50 almost. Nike Featherlight. Even the tag was kind of messed up a little bit, but it was a really cool color. And I say to always price the ones with the cool colors up a little bit more. $22 a good sales price on this Nike hat. And then our one cross-platform sale today was a Punisher hat. Went out on Poshmark for $13. All right, guys, let's talk about Vero. There's Vero on eBay, and then there's also Vero intellectual property complaint on Mercari.
Yeah, this weekend we got an email from Mercari about a hat that we had listed. It was a Titleist hat. It says your listing has been removed because we received a notice from a trademark owner who has reported your listing as infringing upon their trademark. Please be advised that repeated instances of intellectual property infringement may result in the closure of your Mercari account.
Yeah, for a Titleist hat. Never had a problem with a Titleist hat, but I think there's one thing about this Titleist hat that you may want to know that made it a little bit different. I emailed Mercari back and I was like, hey, you're going to have to give me a little bit more information than this email. What company was it that wanted to take down the listing? Would be nice to know so I don't break this policy in the future, because I really don't think it was Titleist. There was a side hit right here that had CarMax Auto Auctions. And in my listing, I put CarMax in the listing so anybody that wanted to find something to do with CarMax could find it. So I'm really guessing it's actually CarMax that probably wanted to take down this listing, but I can't be 100% sure. I've never had a Titleist hat taken down before or had any problem selling used Titleist hats. We've had a few Veros in the past. There's some on eBay that we've had. There was I had a brand, it was a new Adidas t-shirt and it happened to have the Heisman winner for Louisville on it or something similar to that. And like the Heisman Club said that it wasn't an authentic t-shirt. So I got that one taken down. That was new. And then there was the hair straightener. You remember that?
Yes, we had a hair straightener that we got in a bundle of things and it was brand new and it got taken down.
Yeah. I think I messed up on that one because I copy and pasted somebody's exact title. But I think that hair dryer or straightener. They kind of went after everybody that was selling this. I think it was in a Amazon return box or something like that back when we used to sell that type of stuff. But I haven't had a lot of Veros. And this technically wasn't on eBay. It was on Mercari. But I won't list CarMax stuff anymore. And we got to just kind of be vigilant and keep a lookout for those types of things. And you just never know which company is going to decide that they want their items taken down. Occasionally it does happen on people that list like company hats and things like that. The company will come through and want those taken down. But it's kind of hit and miss. And whenever I get them, I'll be sure and pass them on to you guys. So if you happen to have anything listed that way, you can make sure and get it taken down. I took this one down from eBay as well. And then I'll let you know if Mercari gets back with me, send them an email, and just really, well, you're going to have to give me more information. I mean, I hope it's not Titleist. If everybody has to take all their Titleist hats down, then that's going to be a really bad day for hat people and all sorts of people. But hopefully it's not Titleist, but we'll keep selling. I got an email back from Mercari, and it was Acushnet, which is the parent company of Titleist, Vokey Wedges, FootJoy, and Scotty Cameron. They did give the takedown notice for the hat. I'm assuming still that is because I put CarMax in the listing, but I am not 100% sure because the hat seems real to me. I do not think in any way that's a fake Titleist hat. If you look at the embroidery looks fine on the hat. The inside of the hat had the Titleist tag right here. It's right side up. And then it had the Titleist name all inside the hat along these strips of fabric right here that you typically see. The only thing was, I mean, there was the back kit that had the CarMax auctions on it. There was the side hit that had the embroidery CarMax auctions on it. So I'm really thinking that we got to be careful when listing some of these hats if they have other brands on them besides what the hat was intended. I'm assuming that CarMax auctions went and took this hat and bought some Titleist hats and then slapped their logos on the side of them. And then Titleist didn't allow that. So the Titleist is probably actually more angry with CarMax than with me, but I'm caught in the middle in the crossfire here and getting a Vero because CarMax put their logo on the side. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that's probably the way that it all shook out, or is there another theory that you had why Titleist would take down this listing? All right, guys, let's see how free shipping is going. I will tell you, I'm trying to hang in there. I really am. I'm gonna give it the good old college try here and see if I can stick with this the whole month like I said it was. I hope you don't have to make a video about how I didn't quite make it, but I've been kind of discouraged. I will give you that. $15 on this dolphin hat. Really cool. Had the big logo on the side. I would get $15 plus shipping for this all the time, but this one went 15 free shipping. Next up was a pretty good sale. This was a New Orleans Pelicans camouflage green, of course, snapback $59.50 or $9.50. Sorry, had the really big logo on it. Camouflage, $23. This was a pretty good sale too. This is a Bauer. They make like baseball clothing and apparel. This was on a New Era tag, Bauer. Real pretty good hat here for $21. Next up was a Washington Redskins fitted. This one went out for $23. Really good size here, 7 3/4. Usually sells really well on the $59.50. Redskins, of course, is getting harder and harder to find this stuff. And it's kind of hit and miss. Sometimes you'll get a really good sales price on them, but sometimes they don't sell for that much. I always mark them up, at least when I first get them, to see what the market is for it. Next up was from our retail arbitrage. Want to keep giving you an update on that. This one was from, do you remember? Did I get this at Burlington? I think we got this at Burlington for like $10. Nike soccer with the big swoosh. I told you I always pick up these specialty sports in Nike. This one went for $27. It was new with tags. Really great condition, of course, because it was brand new. And $27 from $10 we paid at Burlington. Next up was a Nike SB hat. These usually do really well. This one sold for $22. And on the free shipping thing, I just feel like I'm absorbing $2 or $3 here and there and kind of giving the customer even better deal than I typically would. Because this one would usually go for $20 plus shipping, but it went for $22. I went ahead and accepted the $22 price tag on this one, and it was in really great condition. Nice Nike SB hat. Next up was a really good sale as well. This is like, I call it the Trident logo for the Mariners. This one went out for $26 on this fitted hat. It was in super clean condition, really nice. 7 1/4, New Era $59.50. Next up was Los Angeles Dodgers. This was really nice. Went for $24. These Nike hats and MLB usually do really well. They're a little harder to find, and they come in all sorts of different colors. And this one did really well for $24. Next up was this vintage Philadelphia Phillies All-Star game, 1996. Still had the tags on it. Was in great condition, basically dead stock. This went out for $26. It was $15 at one time. It says Clover. I don't know. I don't remember a Clover store where that might be from. If you know what Clover is, what kind of store was that? Let me know. Next up was a pretty good sale price on this Nike hat. It went out for almost $22. It was on the Nike Golf. These are a little harder to find. Nike Golf, gray with the white swoosh. And good news, it was actually a combined order. What did the second Nike hat go for, Mary?
It went for $17.
$17 and $21 for these two Nike hats. Really good deal. They obviously like the gray with the white swoosh, and they came to the right place. $40 for these two. Awesome combined shipping. And then next up, $18 on this 47 brand, just regular dad hat. Cleveland Guardians, MLB. Good looking hat right here. And then another sale on a Nike hat. It went for $18 as well. Just a regular Legacy strap back, black with the white swoosh. Next up was the Clearwater Threshers minor league team. This was a youth hat that still went out for $14. Sold several youth and women's hats today. Lots of pink hats went out. I think like 4 or 5 pink hats. So really good to see the women's hats selling. That really helps because sometimes they can take a while. And here's the pink Green Bay Packers. Went out. It's basically brand new. Still had all the tags on it. Really good sale right here. $18. All right, next up was another Seattle Mariners. This one went out for $25. It was 7 3/4. Also, telling you, this is a great size right here. They sell fast and usually have a really good sales price of like $25 on this one. Then we did happen to sell a Titleist hat for $22. I really don't think it was Titleist that we have to worry about, but I'll let you know if Mercari gets back to me. This one was basically brand new, $22. The black with the white script Titleist. Next up was Hello Kitty. It went out for $18. Just a regular Hello Kitty hat. $18 is a pretty good sales price for a donut, coffee, and a Hello Kitty. Did sell a few more bucket hats. This one out for $17. Just a green Disney bucket hat right here. $17. Pretty good sales price on the, it said Spirit jersey. I don't know. Maybe the Disney people know what that means, if that has any significance on it. Next up was this UGG hat. It was a little bit different. It went out international for $15. It was really kind of a lightweight. Had this cool all over print on it. Pretty cool little UGG hat. $15. Next up was this vintage Detroit Tigers hat. Went out for $33. Really cool hat right here. It was actually on a zip back, AMA Pro, super clean, basically like dead stock. Had a little creasing up here the way it was stored, but it was in really great condition. $30, a great sales price on that. And a couple other things that I want to explain about this hat, why it's a little bit more. One, it's kind of the older logo, just kind of a plain logo right here. And then 2, it was wool. And then 3, it was on the AM cap, and it was licensed on the inside. So all of those things really kind of brings up the sales price on the older sports hats. Next up was a vintage trucker hat right here. This one was pretty cool. Had the big puff paint with the elk on it, and it said Montana on it. Really cool vintage trucker hat. I always put puff paint, if it's got this puff paint on it, in the title when I'm selling these hats too. Next up was a vintage Nike hat. Went out for $22, even with this kind of staining, discoloration on it. And here's the vintage Nike tag. And it was a strap back. This was definitely late 90s, mid 90s Nike hat right here. Really cool. Even stained up, the vintage Nike hats are usually $15 to $30. If you got them in really great condition, you can get over $30, but this is a really cool hat. Another good sale right here. This is a vintage Chargers 1994 Champions. It was on the New Era tag, super clean. The headband was looked unworn. Nice Chargers hats. Chargers have been in the news too. They got them a new coach, Mr. Harbaugh. So maybe that's why this one went out, but really cool hat. Next up was a nice combined order. $84 for these hats. I think this first one went for $40. It was the bulk of it. Really cool Oakland A's vintage. Let me show you the inside here. It was on the American Needle, which is always a great vintage brand to look out for. They make some really banger hats, but this one was kind of plain, but it had the cool script on it. And the Oakland A's back here, right here, $40 for this hat. Definitely want to keep an eye out for vintage American Needle. And then a couple more vintage hats. We had a Friends Don't Let Friends drive Fords. That came in, I did a whatnot sourcing video quite a while back. That came out of that box, so I paid $6 for that one. And then I had, there was just a vintage blank trucker right here, and then a pipeline construction vintage trucker hat right here. All those went out for $70 to $80, somewhere right in there. Really great sale for 4 hats. Next up, another really great sale. MLB is starting to do pretty well. $23 on this New Era fitted Colorado Rockies. It was size 7 3/8. Even had some wear in here. Still pretty cool style. The lightweight kind of polyester in the fitted. $23. Next up was a vintage bucket hat. This went out for $17. It was Columbia and it was Gore-Tex vintage, kind of a fishing bucket hat. Next up on Mercari, going out was this Boston Red Sox, kind of an orange hat right here. Went out for $15. Snapback, just a different color. They usually do pretty well. And also on Mercari, just a Roxy hat, was super clean. Had the cool pineapple on the front, $9 on that one. And the Miami Heat with a different color went out on Mercari as well for $13.50. And then one of the most surprising sales that we had is going to be this Life is Good hat. Went for $18 on Poshmark. Had this softball player on the front of it. So a little bit different. Life is Good for $18. Can't beat that. So we had 5 total sales from the other platforms today, which is pretty good. Last one going out, a really cool Ski-Doo hat, like 25th anniversary from 1984. Had all the foam in it, still in really good shape. Went out for $20 on Poshmark. They got a really cool hat right here.